We're going to look at China's alleged treatment of Uyghur Muslims and other minorities. In short, China may have carried out crimes against humanity. That's what a report by the United Nations is claiming. It says there are credible allegations of torture and sexual abuse in detention camps. Well, these camps are in the Xinjiang region. China has given a response. It says this new report is a farce planned by the UN and Western countries. Well, here's our correspondent, Caroline Hawley.
These are just some of the Uyghur Muslims who've been locked up by China. Leaked images shared earlier this year with the BBC. A mass incarceration of a people collectively repressed in the name of Chinese security. Human rights groups have warned for years of horrific abuses against the Uyghurs, but now the long-awaited verdict of the UN speaks of forced medical treatment and sexual violence, and it says the world must now pay urgent attention to what's happening in Xinjiang. There is, it says, credible evidence of torture possibly amounting to crimes against humanity.
It really pierces this Chinese government facade that there is nothing to see in the Uyghur region. Well, there is something to see. So these are no longer allegations. This is a confirmation of horrendous human rights abuses in the region at the moment.
This was the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights in a much criticised visit to China in May. Last week she said she'd been under pressure not to publish the report. It was finally released just minutes before she ended her 4-year term, to fury from China.
The so-called assessment is orchestrated and manufactured by the US and some Western forces. It is wholly illegal and invalid. The report is misinformation, which serves as a political tool for the US and the West to strategically use Xinjiang to contain China.
China has always denied running internment camps, insisting they're vocational training centres for willing students. But it's never allowed unfettered access to any of the locations of the camps in Xinjiang. So for the Uyghurs, the UN report is an important vindication, recognition of their suffering.
I just cannot stop my tears when I was reading the report after midnight last night. It's one of relief, but also the longing for the last 5 years, to see some reaction and validation by the UN. I believe the governments around the world can put extra pressure on China. Business shouldn't be usual.
Human rights groups too say the publication of the report should mark a turning point in the world's response. Amnesty International described it as a game changer, saying UN member states would now be duty-bound to act on what it found. Caroline Hawley, BBC News.
We're going to speak now to Burhan Ulyol, Associate Professor at Istanbul Sabahat Nizam University and Uyghur rights activist. Thanks very much for coming on the programme.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
What's your reaction to this report?
Definitely, that is a positive sign for this Uyghur genocide. Even though they didn't claim as a genocide, but at least they claim crime against the humanity. So at least, the Mrs. Bashilt, and she respected the Western values, at least like few minutes before, and she resigned, she declared that, and that is what they call is a crime against the humanity. So, that is a really good sign for us, actually.
So you're taking this as a positive day. The words are out there in black and white for the world to see. What do you hope happens now?
I know that only few countries in the world, recognize as a genocide. Even though the few parliament, even though accepted the genocide, but at the national level or the country level, they didn't recognize as a genocide. So we hope that many more countries, especially the Islamic countries, including Turkey, they should and speak up. Against the Chinese government regarding this Uyghur genocide. So we hope that after this, many more countries follow this footstep to accept it as the genocide or the crimes against the humanity.
Yeah, crimes against humanity, just to reiterate, is the phrasing used in this report. Can I ask you just a personal question? Have any of your family been affected by this?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's why I become activist as well. Until 2018, I'm peaceful academician or who neutral academician who focused on my academia. But starting from 2018, the Chinese government is lock up my family members like one by one. They lock up my uncles, they lock up my cousins, and as well as they lock up my like stepbrothers and so on and so forth. I still keep silent because I worry the Chinese government, they will do something for my parent. But unfortunately, when it's come to end of 2018, they look up my mother as well. So that's the time I stand up against the Chinese government to speak up the truth as well. Actually, my mom is not being sent to the vocational center, and she being sent to the underground prisons. In my village, actually, there is no, the prison, in my whole life. I never seen any prison in my village because I grew up in a village. But unfortunately, when it's come to the 2018, the Chinese government is set up thousands of the, not only the concentration camps, but also the underground prison, and my mother is being locked up.
What do you make of the Chinese assertion just on that point that these aren't camps in the way that you described, that these are vocational training, re-education camps?
Yeah, it's not true. It's not true. As I said just now, there is no prison in my village, and before 2016 or 2018. But 2018, I got the 100% confidential information. Saying that, or like, accurate information. My mother is being sent underground prison. So underground prison, there is no windows, there is no, toiletries. In terms of what they call the sanctions, the cleanness, that will be a problem actually. So meaning that it's not true. It is just vocational camps. It is the concentration camps actually.
Burhan Uliol, thank you so much for coming on the programme and sharing your thoughts and your personal experiences too. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.